Alright, since a lot of people have asked recently, you know, with all the videos I've been making and whatever, and the talks going on, how do you actually do a super jump? I'm just going to go through each of them really quickly. Let's see here. So I'll just start with a really basic thing, just explaining how to do the glitch in a really basic format. Let's see if there's one I can do here. Alright, so the basics of a super jump is that, for the most part, from what we found, they can only be done indoors, meaning in a dungeon or in a cave network. Secondly, for the majority of them, you need to get a wall clip in order to do them. And there's another sub-requirement where the basic gist of it, of how you want to do it, is, you know, you need to look in the direction you want to super jump. But in order for it to work, the tiles that, I think it's around 2 tiles, well, basically 2 tiles from the point you're jumping from needs to have a walkable tile, or else it doesn't work. And only certain tile types can be super jumped from, and these seem to be tiles that can act as ledges that you're able to jump from. So that makes sense why that would be. So mostly it's cave walls like this, like you wouldn't be able to super jump off of these pots, or off of this thing here. So that limits how you're able to utilize this. So, now the other thing about super jumps is they can be done with 3 items. The sword, the magic or fire rod, and the bow. Now the easiest way to do them is with the sword. Now the basic input you want to do is this. Point your sword in the direction you're facing, or in the direction you want to super jump, and charge it. This is the easiest way to do it. And then you get into the little wall clip position. And then, in order to pull off the super jump, you just want to hold down and jump against the wall, and then press up. Now, these are kind of finicky, in that you can see I just pulled off a second one without getting another wall clip, but I wasn't able to get it again. These are a little bit finicky from what I've found so far, so I don't know, you just have to practice with them, and each one operates a little bit differently. Now, the second way to do it is again with the sword, but without charging it up, and this is a bit trickier, but still pretty easy. Again, you want to get a wall clip. Now, instead of facing the direction you want to super jump, you want to press up against the wall that you're super jumping off of, and then jump. And then, while you're jumping, you want to press the direction you want to wall super jump to, and then use your sword, so like this. So again, that's a little bit faster than the charging up method, and still pretty easy, but the timing and execution is a little bit tighter. Now, with the arrows, it handles the exact same way as, and the magic rod, it handles the same way as doing it with the sword, but without charging it. So again, you just press up against the wall that you want to super jump off of, jump, then look, then press the direction you want to super jump to, then use your item. So I'm doing a bit slowly, but you can you know, tighten up the timings a bit more on that. And again, with the magic rod. It's the exact same way. None of the other items work, so... And I have a theory on why that is, but that doesn't really matter at this point. So let's go to the save states I have for each of the areas where you do these. The first one in the game is the dungeon one, like obstacle skip. Now this is one you do with the bow, and the timing on this is a little bit tricky because basically there's a bat who's going to immediately fly at you, so that's how you want to do it. The one thing you want to be careful for is, whoops, can't see my cursor, but here, let me just enable that. The only trick with this is that you want to make sure you are actually into a tile that can be super jumped from. Now if you try to super jump from this area, basically anything right of the corner right here, it won't work. So here, let me show that. So you need to be about right here at least. So the only thing with this is you need to be a little bit tight with the input here, otherwise you'll get hit by the bat. And you need to mind your horizontal positioning. But yeah, otherwise that one's fairly straightforward. Now, going on to the next one, the D3 one, this one's also very easy. Now, this one, you can either do with the sword out method, which is really easy to execute. You just wall clip in here, jump into the wall, and then press forward. Easy. Or, you get a wall clip again, jump up against the wall, then hold right, and then use sword. But either way, it's pretty easy. And it does ensure one bat kill in this room, so that's something to account for in the piece of power. Now, the other one is dungeon. And again, you can do this either way. With sword out is pretty easy. But you can do a normal slash anyway. Only thing to keep in mind with this is just you need to mind your horizontal positioning on, again, the southern wall here. And you just need to kind of toy the range from which you can do it. Like, you know, your horizontal latency is pretty big, so it's not too tough, but you know, you do something like that, you get stuck in a wall. But for the most part, if you land on the left green border here, the game seems to force you back into the bounds of this area, so this one's not tricky, so that's how you do that one. And again, just make sure to do it with a wall clip on, why on earth did I open that one? But just make sure you get a wall clip on this southern wall here. Now, next one should be Dungeon 6, I believe. So, this one's a bit trickier, but still. Again, you can do it either way with the sword. But this one, you need to mind your vertical positioning. Again, get the wall clip on this wall here. But you need to make sure you do it in this range right here so that you don't land up there, which can get you soft locked. On the return trip, that is, so do that, you land in there. It's really easy with the charged method. With the uncharged method, it's a bit harder. Because if you're not as quick on your inputs... Oh, I got it right. Oh, actually you can still get soft locked. Or you can still jump down, so it's the return trip I'm thinking of. But still, just make sure you're in the right vertical range, which is around here. And then jump over, and you're good to go. Now, for the second jump in Dungeon 6, you need to throw these pots in order to get the wall clip. And then, again, with the charged method, you just get to about here, and then the game lets you hop down. Now this one you have to be a bit more careful on your positioning, so if you're too far to the left, like here, you're actually soft locked, at which point you have to save and quit or use Mambo's Mambo. So here it's very easy if your positioning is off to get soft locked, so keep in mind of that. The one telltale sign I have found that makes lining it up easy is when you're to the right, try to match up Link's rightmost pixel of his foot with this pixel right here, around that area. 'Cause if you go as right as you possibly can up against the border thingy, the super jump stops working, so you can't just use that as a positioning tool. So just put a few pixels between Link and the leftmost pixel of this border, and it should be fine. Then you hop back down. And the same principle applies for the uncharged, so just jump up against the wall and jump out. See, it's a bit harder to do this one uncharged. So I can't seem to get this for the life of me. But yeah, the one thing I can say is each one handles a bit differently. Actually, let me just test something. Okay. But yeah. So the next one is the Dungeon 8 ones. And this is the one people have the most trouble with, so I'll try to explain this as well as I can. This one isn't, but here, this one you can either do the charged method. This costs a bit of time because you clink against this thing. However, if you do it uncharged, it's really easy and quick compared to doing the block push, so there's no reason you shouldn't be doing that. And that one's really easy. So, let's see, Dungeon 8. However, the one I was talking about people having difficulties with is this one. I'm gonna try to explain this the best I can. However, different people are saying different things on what makes it work. As soon as you come out of these stairs, you want to hold down and your sword button until you start charging. And then you want to move to the right. Oh, that did work. The one rule that absolutely is a rule is this will not work if you input any diagonal inputs on the D-pad. Like, I can't really get a grasp of what makes this specifically work and what doesn't, but all I've really found is that just don't do any diagonals. The easy way I found that makes it work 100% of the time is as soon as your sword starts charging, hold right, and then stand still until it's done charging, and then when it's done, then you hold up, and then do the super jump, and I haven't dropped that once ever since trying that out. Trying to be a little bit tighter in the timings has a really inconsistent success rate with me, but now that I say that, it's gonna work every time, so who knows. But that's the gist of this one. Don't do any diagonal inputs, just keep it strictly, you know, X and Y. And then for the second one, you jump down here, and this one's really easy. Oh, I should also say that for the first one here, you don't need to worry about wall clips. When you come out of the stairs, the game automatically puts you in a proper position to do the jump. So, you don't really need to worry about that. Now for this one, you get the wall clip and you can either do it charged or uncharged. Very easy. So that's the Dungeon 8 one. Oh wait, there's one more. Oh, and this is the trickiest one. Well, not the trickiest, but... So when you come into this room, again, you're going to need the bracelet to throw these pots, because you need to secure a wall clip onto this bottom little row here. So throw those pots, get a wall clip, and you're going to jump into a Jesus jump. Now you're going to walk to here and just line yourself up with this. Fortunately, the horizontal window range for pulling this off is pretty generous, so you don't really have to worry about your positioning here. Just take out your sword, hold up and A really quickly until you get a charge, and then just do a normal super jump. Now, the thing with the Jesus jump, however, is if you have your positioning right, that is, if you jump far enough or close enough to the water, you can do this with only one jump, so try to do that, because having to buffer through 2 Jesus jumps eats up quite a bit of time compared to doing just one. Okay, so I got it in one buffer, and that's what an ideal segment there should look like. Now, the other remaining one is the Dungeon 7 one. So, what you're gonna do is, you're gonna come through this room, hit this pillar, hit this little block ball, then pick your ball back up, and then walk up and left through here, and then into this room here. Now, you're going to get a wall clip into the east wall here, and then when you're about in around this vertical range, you're going to throw your ball against the wall, equip the fire rod, and do a super jump like you would with an uncharged sword. Now, what then you're going to do is, when you do the jump, as soon as you hear audio confirmation that you got the super jump off, which I did there, but that was a bad example. You're going to open up your inventory, switch really quickly to the bracelet, and spam the bracelet button, but don't actually throw it. So, that way you'll pick up your ball as you go over the block. Now, I'm going to try something and see if you can buffer the bracelet. So, let's try holding... Okay, it doesn't work, so you do need to press it. But that's how that works, so... Again, just get a wall clip into this east wall, throw the block up against the wall, do your jump, open up the inventory. When you hear you've got the jump, switch to bracer, pick up the ball, hit the pillar, and that's all there is to it, really. The only tricky ones, I would say, are... This one's a bit tricky, but it's pretty easy once you get into the motion. The only real tricky one is the Dungeon 8 one to skip the mini-boss. That one a lot of people seem to have difficulties with. However, hopefully this should clear up how to do it though, so... I had a lot of people asking me on this, so I hope this helps somehow. So, thanks for watching.